Hey look kids, it's Sam Raimi with his $14 million action-packed thriller Darkman from 1990, starring Liam Neeson, Frances McDormand and Larry Drake, with cameos from Ted Raimi, Lutan from The Next Generation, Jenny Agutter, and of course, the obligatory Bruce Campbell cameo. It's a simple story of revenge against those who deserve it. It's a fun, fast-paced, action-packed comic book-style thriller that even predicted 3D printing of body parts. And it chucks in the odd bit of humour too. On its opening weekend, Darkman grossed a total of $8 million, and to date the film's grossed a total of $48.8 million worldwide. Hello everyone, how are you? Tonight on Just Great Movies, we're doing an absolute banger. And when I say banger, I really do mean it. This is an absolute cracker of a movie. Sam Raimi's 1990 Darkman. A quick hello to everybody in the chat. Let's see who's in there tonight, shall we? We've got Uber Mention, Ash928, Ashen Prism, Franco Walker. Not Brian's in there as well. Who else? Oh, our Paul Dicko Dutch Dickinson. Also, a quick hello to Franco. Did I say Franco? Maybe. And if I missed you, Feltz 5. There we go. And I just want to say to everybody, take the fucking elephant. And when they say take the elephant by the trunk, apparently that's an in-joke. It's about Liam Neeson's cock. There's been rumourings in the chat that it's rumoured that Liam Neeson has his very own meat lightsaber, and he treated Helen Mirren to it once upon a time. So she's a lucky girl. Oh dear, the jokes we could make. On Rigged Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 81%, which ain't bad going, really, and that's based on 155 reviews from critics. And the site's consensus states that this is just a delicious, comic book trope. And it really is. It's very much Sam Raimi. His style is very much comic book, and I love it. I really, really do love this film. It's just got a certain level of cheese to it, and I don't know. You don't find it in many films like that anymore. You know, Sam Raimi certainly has a gift. And a lot of the scenes where there's action and movement, he kind of replicates what he did on Crime Wave. And speaking of the Coen brothers, at the time, this is an interesting little factoid, Frances McDormand was a roommate with the Coen brothers and Sam Raimi. And they all shared an apartment in Silver Lake in Los Angeles, apparently. In fact, if I remember right, didn't Frances McDormand end up marrying one of the Coen brothers? I'm sure she did, you know. But anyway, interesting fact, Gary Oldman and Bill Paxman were both up for the lead for this. Can you imagine if Gary Oldman had got this? It'd have been totally different, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have been able to swing by his own penis on those helicopter scenes towards the end of the film. But apparently... Paxton reportedly told his pal Liam Neeson about the role and was angry when the Irish actor, who only had a few big screen credits under his belt at that time, was cast as the lead. Sam Raimi wanted Bruce Campbell to play Peyton Westlake in Darkman, but was told that his Evil Dead homie wasn't a big enough star at the time. And of course, Raimi showed those stuffy suits. Who was boss by giving Campbell a cameo at the end as one of Peyton's many disguises. He's got plenty of faces under his belt. Right, so let's get to it, shall we? This is a cracker of a movie. And there we go, I'll make it full screen. We start off with this as a bit of a conflab between some bad guys. We'll get to know the bad guys very, very soon. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to stick you up on the screen. So, if you want, you can join in at any time. Also, hello to MC who's joined us. Nice to have you on board tonight, matey. Thank you very much for joining us. And I love this film. There's just something about it. It's got a certain level of cheese. Now, this is interesting. Who remembers this? There'll be no treaty, no vaccine. From The Next Generation, Lutan. You remember when he wanted Natasha Yar to be his, what's the word? Well, she's a blonde chick. And a certain type of gentleman likes a blonde chick. And he's a bit of a crime boss. And he's going to go up against this guy. This is Durant, played by Larry Drake. And if you look, we've got Ted Raimi there. And the guy to the right of him, the bald fella, he was in Knight Rider. He destroyed Kit in, what was it? Not Goliath. What's it called? Oh, it's like a big tank thing with a battering ram on it. I can't remember what it was. But it was the one where we ended up with Super Pursuit mode in Knight Rider. We've got a token Mexican guy on the end. And there's that guy there who's next to him. We're starting from left to right. He was in Batman. He was one of Joker's henchmen. The guy with the long hair, he ended up in not Bill and Ted, Wayne's World. That's it. But you've got to love Sam Raimi sticking his brother in everything. Even, apparently, in one of the scenes in the hospital, there's Ivan Raimi as well. He plays a patient. Also, there's a cheeky guest appearance, totally uncredited, by director John Landis as well. So anyway, Lutan looking very much like a black Rick Astley. Anybody else in the chat reckon he looks like a black Rick Astley? Oh dear, I feel like I've been slightly Rick rolled. So anyway, things go a bit pear-shaped, and as you can gather, guns are blazing, cars flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And if you notice in these warehouse scenes where they have these battles, there's always an empty cable drum. Look at the size of that bugger. Crikey. Anyway, let's proceed. So Lutan, stroke Rick Astley. Black Rick Astley comes off second best. Now, Durant's got a bit of a thing about taking fingers from everybody he defeats. So that's what's going to happen here. He's cropped his cigar. Now he's got his cigar cutter. He's going to take a finger or two. And I wonder if he likes fingers of fudge. It's just enough to keep the boy a treat. Ooh, lovely, lovely. So anyway, we go on to this scene, a nice eye. And this is an interesting fact about this film. Every now and again, you will see a close-up on either an eye or hands. I don't know what it is. It just seems to be a running theme all the way through this film. This is the eye of Dr. Peyton Westlake, played by Liam Neeson, and he's trying to help burn victims by creating a synthetic skin, shall we say. But he's having a lot of trouble getting it to work because it only lasts for 99 minutes. So as you can see on that countdown there, things are closely approaching 99 minutes. And then when the clock hits 99, everything just disintegrates and he's just can't figure it out. He's hit a real stumbling block. If he can get around this stumbling block, he will revolutionize treatment for burn victims forever. And look at this. I love this. As I mentioned in the intro, this is a biological 3D printer. Now, these kind of things were science fiction in 1990. Now, look, we've got people printing ears and all that kind of thing. Isn't it weird? Art imitating life again. So, he's totally cheesed off. He can't figure out where he's going wrong. So he goes back to his place, which he shares with his girlfriend, Julie, who's a lawyer, and she's played by Frances McDormand. Now, she's a bit of an oddball. You know what I mean? She's not ugly. She's not overly pretty either. She's somewhere in between, like a realistic woman, you know? Because a lot of women now, it's all slap and it's all bit of makeup and this, that, and the other. And I wonder if she's going to get treated to Liam's impressive Irish tour. Now, this is important. He puts his coffee down the next morning on a very important document called the Belisarius document, right? And that it plays a big part later in everybody getting rumbled as to the corruption. Franco says she's attractive. She is. She is in a, how can I put it, a very modest way. And that's really refreshing. And she did actually want to play this role differently because at the time, like I said, she was shacked up with Sam Raimi and also the Coen brothers as well. But McDormand claims that Raimi cast her in an effort to create a character who would break the traditional damsel in the distress mold, and also to make sure she was able to make rent because she was just then an up-and-coming actress. However, the pair clashed quite a bit on set, and McDormand pushed for Julie to be a bit more than the typical comic book heroine, you know, who ends up bound and gagged and waiting for the hero to save her. So by the end of the movie, that's what Sam Raimi did. He decided to make her like that, and she was gagged and bound at the end of the movie. So much for trying to get what you want on the production of a movie. It usually ends badly. So anyway, let's... what? Ash928 says... Oh, hello, Badfoot. How are you? Hope you're well. Francis looks a bit like Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I see that now. Like a chick version. She definitely does there, doesn't she? That's weird. So anyway, she works in the big city, and she works in this towering building, and she works for a lawyer. No, she works for a mogul, actually. Not a lawyer, because she's the lawyer. And he's a bit, how can I put it? He's a bit like the old man from RoboCop, because he's got a vision, and he wants to go forward with that. This is Colin Friels as Louis Strack, a corrupt and haughty billionaire developer set on completing an ambitious construction project, the City of the Future, and he wants to do it by any means, so very much like the old man from RoboCop. He had a dream. It was Delta City, Pepperidge Farm, remembers? So anyway, due to a bit of an accident, the power goes off in Peyton's lab, and because there's no ambient light around, the magic skin he's trying to develop lasts longer than 99 minutes. So it turns out that light and UV was killing off his cells in his artificial skin. Now this guy turns up. This is Paulie. Yo, Paulie. Typical gangster name. He turns up with a few cronies, and they start beating 7 shades out of Liam Neeson. I'm surprised he didn't get his cock out. That would have made him go, whoa. And he could have, slapped him round. Planf. Remember that from a few weeks ago when we were talking about the word planf? If you don't know what that means, Urban Dictionary it immediately. So, Durant turns up. He's smoking a cigar as he normally does. And apparently Larry Drake had always been known for playing nice guy roles. He played a guy in L.A. Law, didn't he? It was a bit speckle. And wasn't he a scarecrow once? I seem to remember him in a film where he was a scarecrow and he got murdered and he took revenge on everybody. Yeah. And I think I'm going to have to IMDb that. Obviously can't do it while I'm doing this. So Ted Raimi grabs hold of his assistant and, removes his oxygen privileges. So the documents found, this Belisarius document, look at that, it's got a coffee ring on it, very important. I did have a joke lined up about this guy, and I can't remember what it was. I really should write things down. Well, anyway, they kick 7 shades out of Peyton, and they dip his head in his, how can I put it, his skin juice. There's no other word for it, to be fair. What's this? Ash and Prism says that Ted is the nerdiest henchman ever. It's true. He is a bit of a nerdy henchman, isn't he? That's weird. I saw him in Shocker. He was good in that. He played a character called Pac-Man. And he's always been like a bit of a subdued character. He was in the Spider-Man movies, wasn't he? Because he worked for Jolly Jonah Jameson. It must be nice being in all your brother's films. He's not been in many productions outside of his brother's stuff, so I wonder how he makes ends meet. But he's always sort of got this naivety, like a bit of a soft lad charm to him, but he's a bit of an arsehole in this. So Durant turns on some gas. I'm not quite sure what kind of gas it is, but gas is never good. And the guys leave. They've got what they came for. And Peyton's looking he's a bit messed up already. But if you notice, they've got one of them rocking bird things like they had in Alien, on the tables, where they start pecking downwards and they go right down, then back up because the fluid tips. That one of those is on the go, but Durant's left his lighter there. And just as Peyton's about to get to it, it's kabloom time. And yet again, we focus on an eye again. This is Peyton's eye. Next thing you know, boom, Julie just turned up too. It's funny that. Why would he have a laboratory in his flat? That's a bit bizarre, that. But I suppose when you're a bit of an offbeat scientist, you've got to do those kind of things, haven't you? Franco Walker says skin tubes. Now, Franco, don't lower the tone. Oh, we love it when everybody lowers the tone. That's what we're here for. And this is quite funny. This gets very much, how can I put it? There's a technique where you put the camera on a trolley. You get the actor or actress to stand on that trolley as motionless as possible. and you move them backwards or forwards against a matte background, and it gives you that depth perception. They did it in Shocker. We'll be doing that soon on Just Great Movies, incidentally. And you get to see a great scene, and I absolutely love it when they do those techniques. I think, if I remember right, Albert Hitchcock was it Alfred Hitchcock? Albert Hitchcock, I don't know. Came up with that technique. So anyway, later on in the film, we see somebody looking through bandages, and it's Peyton. He's in hospital. And look, Jenny Agutter. You've got to love a film with Jenny Agutter in it. And she still looks quite biffy in this movie. You know, Jenny Agutter's got a sort of English rose charm to her. And even though she was well into her 30s by this point, don't forget Logan's Run was like 1970s, 1974. So there's 16 years between this and Alfred Hitchcock, yeah. It's all right, I've not had much sleep, and I get like that when I've not had much sleep. Franco says the effects were brilliant in this film. Yeah, no CGI. All practical effects, all special effects done around the 1990s era. There were no ILM sort of like big budget for this. So anyway, there's a bit of a it's not a lightning storm. It's Peyton. He's escaping this like rotating bed thing he's on. But she was explaining that to do this procedure, she had to cut several nerves. Now that's had a bit of a knock-on effect because it's made Peyton immune to pain. You know, he doesn't feel pain. But as a side effect, he's gone slightly screwy because his body's not getting a complete set of sensory feedback from his body. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. She's cured him, but she's also cursed him in the same vein. So he escapes off that. He's done one. And Julie's walking home, obviously not back to that flat because it's kablooey. And he's oh, look at that. He's just desperately reaching out to her. It's like, Julie. Oh, you got to feel sorry for Peyton. He's like a tortured hero. So there's a scene where it's absolutely chucking it down, and he's sleeping in an alleyway, and there's water getting chucked on him. Obviously, he's got no nerve endings anymore. He can't feel anything, so it doesn't really bother him. But the thing is, surely he would have got hypothermia. You can cut those nerves, but you can't stop your body, you know, from succumbing to the elements. Ash928 says John Landis made a tiny cameo too, I think. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Him and Sam Raimi's brother Ivan, they're all in the hospital. So anyway, Darkman gathers all his stuff together, right? And he wheels it off, and he's like a bag lady. All that equipment's been through an explosion. Surely it's not going to work. So he sets up in like an old cement factory. It's funny it's very reminiscent of RoboCop in places. You've got the bad guy, well, the main bad guy. He wants to build his Delta City, and then RoboCop, you know, he's in that old iron mill where he got killed. You know, he gets all the bad guys towards the end. It's very much like that. So anyway, he sets himself up here and gets all his equipment running, and he scans photos of himself to rebuild his face. But the image isn't complete, right? So the computer's got to extrapolate all the data from the other side of his face. So it says there, facial reconstruction will take 571 hours and 57 minutes. So a bit of quick mathematics on the fly. 571 hours, right? Divide by 24. Crikey. 23.7 days. So he's got a bit of time to kill, I reckon. I don't know how he's going to do that, to be fair. Oh, Paul Dutch Dicko says in the chat, how come is it when I click, it always goes on to the one before? So Paul Dutch Dicko says golden shower. Yeah, I guess. In a way. Except the water's cleaner if you piss on somebody, I think. Oh, dear. So later on, Julie, she starts having a bit of an affair, and not in a good way, with Lewis. And somebody's watching them. I've got this feeling somebody's watching me. It's Peyton. He's outside looking through a grill. So anyway, that's only going to fuel his craziness because, you know, with him having none of this sensory information coming through. Hello to Manuel Grilled in the chat. And having no sensory information, right? It just fueling the fire. He's going to get worse and he's going to get worse. So, Ted, I keep wanting to call him Ted. I can't remember the name of the character who plays in this film, and to be fair, I don't really care because it's Ted Raimi. He's just there for the fun of it, really. A bit of a side gig. It's a side hustle for him, isn't it? So Darkman collars him in an alleyway, and he treats him to a bit of revenge because that's all he's out for. That's all this film is about. Peyton stroke Darkman. All he wants to do is just get revenge on everybody who's hurt him, basically. Ashen Prism says the dong was forgotten very quickly. Well, you know, it's wrapped round his leg 6 times. What do you expect? So he gets it. So next on the ticket is Paulie, who's having a Yakult. That's nice. He just looks a wrong un, doesn't he? I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm sort of getting that wrong un vibe. And this makes me laugh. So Darkman's taking photos of him with a nifty Nikon. It's been through an explosion and it still works, not a trace of damage. And he's not exactly going to take that roll of film to Boots, is he, and getting it developed in an hour. He's going to have to do that himself, probably in his own toilet. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ash928 says, I think the character is called Rick. And now you've said that, that's just reminded me. Rick Anderson. That's the name of the character, played by Ted Raimi. Yeah, nice call. Ash also says, Paulie looks poorly. Yo! Hey, Paulie! I do this thing and it always makes me snot, right? You know, Mike Wazowski. I always imagine somebody shouting him in a Brooklyn accent and going, Yo, fucking Mike Wazowski! Always makes me chuckle. So Darkman gets Paulie, gives him a bit of the old sleep gag there, doesn't he, with the old ether. And so Paulie's out of the picture. He sets everybody up. There's Rick, Rick Anderson, and Paulie Mazucci, whatever his name is. I think it's Mazucci, I think it's supposed to be. I don't understand why he's got an H on the end. Well, anyway, I digress. So later, they think they're going to meet Paulie. Yo, Paulie! In Ernie's Best Deli. It's always something like that in a movie, isn't it? Ernie's Best Deli. Anyway, he's having a tuna sandwich, and these two guys turn up. Token Mexican dude, and the dude who ended up in Batman. And so they pass him a large quantity of cash. Well, they think they pass him Paulie a large quantity of cash. He's acting very out of character. So later, the money disappears. Durant turns up at Paulie's place with Token Mexican dude, finds an open suitcase, all packed, ready to go, and 2 airline tickets, and he says, well, that explains where Rick's gone. So Darkman's set Paulie up to take a fall, quite literally, from the 22nd floor. So Paulie gets chucked out of a window by Durant and his henchmen, and he lands on this car, and this woman who looks like a bus hooker, I'm not quite sure what she is, but if you look in the background, there's a guy there who's the exact spitting image of Paulie. And she sees this, and she's like, she can't believe it. Starts screaming. But 98 minutes and 13 seconds. So Darkman knows it's time to split. In the meantime, facial reconstruction complete. So this is like 20-odd days, 23.97 days or whatever it was. Oh, let me just catch up with the chat. Just 1 second. So we're talking. Yeah, very funny. Nice. I like that. Yo, fucking Mike Wazowski. Any excuse for me to say that, to be fair. Paul Dutch Dicko says, he looks very much like Vin Diesel with diabetes. Hi, I'm Vin Diesel. I've got diabetes. Hey, there's an interesting video on YouTube, which I saw the other day, where it compared actors who were 49 back in the 80s and 90s compared to people who were 49 in modern times. And Wilford Brimley was 49 in, was it Cocoon? I don't believe that for a minute. And they compared a picture of, what's his face, Paul Rudd at 49. Franco says, Ernie's worst deli burnt down. Well, can't imagine it being that good. Ash928 says, Rick Astley, never going to give you the pink elephant. Or Liam Neeson's impressively impressive cock. Not Brian says, strangely intact. Ash back with one again. Vin Diesel's cousin, Paul Petrol. Yeah. Or Paul Two-Stroke. So anyway, facial reconstruction complete. Meanwhile, Julie's at Peyton's grave. All of a sudden, I mean, look at her there. She looks I'd fuck it. Yeah, no bones about it. I would knob her. I'm quite into gingers, to be fair. And she's a gin. She's just dyed a bit blonde, isn't she, for this role? Magically, Peyton turns up out of nowhere, looking quite healthy and slender and nice and fully intact. He has an emotional moment with Julie, but he tells her, "I'm not playing with a full deck anymore." Which, he's been through a lot. And he's been through Helen Mirren, apparently. In the meantime, Durant's face is in the programmer in the 3D printer. That's getting the treatment. Now, if this machine only does skin, right, how are we getting the hair and the eyebrows and all that malarkey? It must do the real deal, must do the full works. Yeah, I've got a bone to pick with the special effects a little bit later on too. There's a major discrepancy, and we'll chat about that in a bit. I hope I remember. So anyway, this is Durant, but he looks a bit off kilter, and he does a shop over. And Peyton's been reciting some lines from Darkman, from Durant, and he quotes them directly in the camera, which leads to these officers showing up and taking Durant for a ride. In the meantime, another Durant who's prodding around with his skin. I'm not being funny or anything. I know why this guy plays Speckle People. He kind of has that look about him. Genetics are unfortunate, but Larry Drake's a great actor. So he's going to the Hong Kong restaurant, wherever it is. I can't tell, it's behind those lanterns. And he's meeting up with this guy who's a little crime boss in Chinatown, right? Manuel Grill. Oh, I like that. Durant. That'd be quite an interesting group, wouldn't it? No elephants or cocks are involved. So, he knows the time's running out on his current persona. So he cuts his cigar right down. It's amazing he's got Durant's cigar chopper, and aka stroke finger chopper. And he chops that cigar right down and he says, "You've got until the time I finish this cigar to pay me my money." And the Chinese guy's like, okay, Bob, you'll win." Not playing Twister, mate. "You'll win, you flucker. You'll make me fucking pay, you bastard." He's got a couple of atypical, Asian thugs there, isn't he? He's got the guy who looks like Handjob from 007. But the other guy, he is not Asian. He's Polynesian, which is a bit of an offshoot genetically. They're actually genetically related, aren't they? Because as the people of Japan moved across the Pacific, they morphed into the Polynesian people. Well, that's by the by. That's just me being technical. On the way out, we've got two Durants. Obviously, this isn't a split-screen technique. No, it's not. That's somebody with a mask. No, it's not. It's a split-screen technique. He's filmed the scene twice, and he's got Larry Drake, who's looking a bit, what's the word? He looks a bit poorly, doesn't he? "Oh, fried rice," says Ash and Prism. "It's fried rice, you plick." There we go. Can we get the racism out of the way now? And we'll carry on. So they start spinning around in this thing. And token Mexican dude, he's like, "Oh, who do I shoot?" So Darkman chucks off that mask. That kind of reminds me of somebody. Thunder in Big Trouble in Little China? Do you know when he explodes and he's like expanding, he's going, "Wah!" and he's like swelling up like chuff? That's exactly what he looks like here, and I love it. So anyway, Durant and his posse didn't manage to find out who Darkman was. So he runs away, lives to fight another day, and we get to a good bit here. This is like, if you know, you know. Peyton goes out on a date with Julie, takes her out to the fun fair, and he starts getting a bit riled because there's like a freak show. And freak really does trigger Peyton now, because he knows deep down he's a freak. So he starts having a go at this game here, trying to knock some skittle things over, little ball, knock 3 over, win a prize. And he does it, and this Carney's like telling him to fuck off. He's like, "Get stuffed, I'm not paying you anything. You can go and suck a bag of dicks." And he grabs hold of him, and he loses his shit, basically. And it doesn't end well. He twists this guy's fingers, and they're all screaming. And it's like, take the elephant. And if you don't believe me, right, I'll show you.
Take it. Take the fucking elephant.
I love that. Take the fucking elephant. That is just, take it. No, take it. No, take the fucking elephant. And I wonder if that's going to be my first soft copyright strike of the show tonight. YouTube likes dishing those out. It loves giving them. Do you know, Friday Night Shite, I got shadow banned for that. Between me, you and the fence post, Disney come at me big style. They took my video off, and I had to make certain edits to it to make it appeasable to Disney. YouTube had got Disney's back, and it was fuck you, Trev. You know, YouTube wants people to make content to get people to watch YouTube. But everybody here gets treated like a fucking mug or a monkey. And it's not fair, really. I don't like that. Anyway, they're not on my side. They don't have to be, really. You know, YouTube's a buyer's market. I am but a very, very, very small amoeba in a sea of talent. It'd be nice if you could recommend me to a few people, because there's only like the 12 of us here, and that's every week, you know? Been doing the channel now for about 7.5 months, and not seeing a deal of growth. I'm not complaining, but it would be nice to, you know, get somewhere a little bit faster and get more people involved, because, you know, I don't think I'm chucking out rubbish, to be fair. I know it's my content and all, but I don't think I'm doing too bad. Thanks to everybody who was coming on tonight. It's amazing that 3 people on 3 different continents, all getting incontinence at the same time and jibbing out. Isn't that bizarre? 3 people not coming back to the channel, sadly. Anyway, Julie follows Peyton to his now, how could I put it, secret lair. Ooh, I like that. Secret lair, which used to be a soap factory, apparently. So he's telling Julie, you know, you need to go and do one, love. And she finds that mask of Peyton. That does not look as good. In fact, do you remember the guy who played Captain Braxton? Not the original one in Star Trek Voyager, but the second one. That kind of looks like him. You know the guy I'm talking about. He was in The Last Boy Scout. He was knobbing Bruce Willis's missus, and he got blown up. He also played Blurred in the movie Handle with Care. A great movie about sea beers. Yeah, sea beers when at the height of their fun and games in the 70s. Yeah. Brian comes up with a good suggestion here. Oh, what are you laughing at, MC? Oh, well, at this. Brian says, someone write the channel name on the bog walls in Waitrose. Hashtag promote. And let's see. Let's just go back to these. Franco says, FFS, we know what that means. Yeah, screw them. MC says, yeah, that's true. Oh, thank you, MC. That's a very kind thing to say. It's a good stream. You know, I like doing it, to be fair. I mean, it's fun for me. And, you know, it's not a cheap hobby, streaming. But, I, you know, the other night you blew me away with your support. That really did mean a lot. So anyway, Julie's a bit confused at this point. Yeah, again, she looks quite biffy, doesn't she? In a... how can I put it? She's not a minger. Not by any chalk of the imagination. I'm guessing it's that kind of chin. And she does look a bit Willem Dafoe. But, yeah, I can't remember which Coen brother she married, whether it was Joel or Ethan. But she's married to one of them. It's funny that, you know, you've got the Coen brothers. You've got Sam Raimi. And you've got Frances McDormand. They're all sort of cohabitating together. I wonder if there was more to it than that. But no, she married a Coen brother. Sadly, she didn't have any kids, which is weird. Adopted one, but didn't have any kids of her own. Oh, what's this? MC says... It's amazing this. When I go to click it on screen, it always kind of shifts at the last minute. Oh, you picked some great movies. Well, you know, these are movies that I love. And hopefully, you know, we're all like-minded people here. And if you love them too, we can talk about them together, kind of bounce off each other. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I really do. Ashen says, Last Boy Scout. Oh, yeah, definitely. We might actually do that on the Just Great Movies. But it'll have to be in next year. I've got to admit, I did tit up during the week. I accidentally deleted the list. It's on my phone on a notes application. But it keeps backups regular. I set them up. And I'm glad I did, to be fair. What's this? Paul Dutch Dicko says, these streams are fun. Such a nice change from all the bashing critique channels. Hey, we do bashing. I mean, I'm quite into bashing a certain Disney thing at the moment, and they're quite interested in bashing me back. And YouTube goes, how dare you have a fucking opinion of your own? We're going to beat you down till you submit and say nice things about it. Well, I won't be browbeaten. I won't be bought. You know, in the future, I may run like promotional advertisements and stuff like that. That's just the nature of the beast to keep the lights on, you know? And if I'm offered an opportunity and it helps me to reinvest back in the channel, I'm going to bloody do it. And I don't think anybody could blame me for doing that, to be fair. Franco says she was in Fargo. Yes, she was. And Ashen says, Frances has done some great movies. Like, oh, crikey. What's it called? Is it Burn After Reading? She's pretty good in that. With John Malkovich. I can't do it, and that's just me doing Bill Hader's version. But it's the one where George Clooney shoots Brad Pitt in the face. And that's always a bonus, really. Ashley also says, my ex account is pretty entertaining as well. I just say it like it is. You know, no airs and graces. If something's, you know, pissing me off, I'll call it out. If something's wrong, I'll call it out. Very much like X at the moment, because I've not got, right? I get like, 5 or 6 new followers a week on average, right? My follower count never goes up, so I moaned at X, and then they moved it up too. Yeah, crooked as fuck. There's no way I'm buying a blue tick the next time round, you know? That is just a fucking con. Elon, for all his faults, he's just laughing at everybody. X has not changed. It's still a bag of dicks, and I stand by that. This place ain't much better either. I think there ought to be an alternative to this platform, and I don't mean Rumble, because, you know, I've tried doing stuff on Rumble. I don't get along with it. And I'm glad that Tomby's having a huge success over on Rumble. If you're not following Tomby on here or on Rumble, can you give him a follow? Also give him a follow on X, because he is a lovely bloke, and he's a vet as well. Not an animal vet, I mean like a veteran. What's this? Paul Dutch Dicko says, you admitting you bash one off a lot? Well, you know, it's been known. Franco says, I'm not on the socials. I don't blame you, mate. It is just, it's gone downhill. It's not what it is. You've got a lot of angry, brainwashed young people who think they know better than our generation, you know, and they're trying to tell us how to think. Well, fuck off. Nobody's telling me how to think. Too late. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, unless it's making a Portuguese breakfast. Oh, thank you, Brian. It says Trev's Twitter. There we go. There's a link for you. If you're not following me on there, that'd be good of you to give me a follow. That'd be great. Also, I'd love it, and I've said this before, if you could tell a friend about what we're doing here, because that would be fantastic as well. I don't know if anybody's said anything on the side in particular, because I am not finding stuff on the screen tonight. No. It's all right. I was just looking, making sure nobody had said something exceedingly kind, and I'd not put it up on the screen. So anyway, we've got the Belisarius document, which implicates Lewis Strack Jr. about his waterfront development stuff. And apparently that day on the Goofs on IMDb, October 15th, 1989, was a Sunday. And legals don't work on a Sunday. Interesting that. Maybe it was a bit of an Easter egg. Maybe it was to test the geeks. And October 15th, 1989. Nice weather in LA. Oh, Franco says to subscribe and hit the bell, share, like, select, all that malarkey as well. What's this? MC says, I'm on here and Instagram. Instagram has a lot of ladies with huge tracts of land. I can imagine. Screw that. Anyway, Julie finds the document, obviously, in Strack's briefcase. So she knows he was behind Peyton getting done over. And he's like, really wish you hadn't found that bitch. And look at the look on her face. I mean, she's looking quite, I don't know, mean ginger at that point. You know, definitely. I don't know, is it the chin? Is that what does it? Because she has got like a bit of a pronounced chin and a bit of a dimple. I've got a few relatives who are ginger, and they've got a dimple in the chin like that. Maybe it's a ginger thing. So anyway, Strack obviously meets his cohort, Durant. Durant works for Strack. And he's like, you know what to do, don't you? And they want this guy. They want Peyton. I wonder if he wraps his cock up too. I wondered, there's not enough skin, is there, in Tinseltown to wrap his dick up? And then Durant turns up in a helicopter and he's got like a big massive spud gun. Oh dear, Paul Dutch Dicko, how dare you? Looks like a miserable shag to me. Oh, Franco makes a good point. Yeah, Kirk Douglas chin. Very much like that. That's probably what it's called, a Kirk Douglas chin. Well, you never know. What's this? Frances is a classic Two-Face. Yeah, she's like got resting bitch face. And then she's got the not too bad, like a crispy sausage. What is knob? I wouldn't know, MC. What you get up to with Liam Neeson in the privacy of your own home's totally your business. We don't need to know it. But if you look, that's Strack's helicopter. So that's implicated him even more. That guy with the machine gun, it looks a bit like Tony Shalhoub, the guy who plays Monk. And, the guy in Galaxy Quest. Tech Sergeant Chen. Hey, we're doing Galaxy Quest soon. In fact, very soon. I'm looking forward to doing that. If only I could find a copy of the film where Sigourney Weaver actually says fuck that in the chompers. That was well hidden. So anyway, Paul Dutch Dicko says, get in the chopper. Hey, strangely enough, there's 2 levels of membership on my channel. I'm not really offering a deal at the moment. I'd really do apologise. I'm thinking about turning the memberships off, to be fair. You know, it's nice having the support, but, I can't deliver on what YouTube wants me to do because I haven't got the time, to be fair. So Paul Dutch Dicko says, get in the chopper, which I've already said once, but any excuse for me to do an Arnie line. Hey, Predator's coming up soon. Might be having a big guest for that. I'm just waiting for him to get back to me or tell me to fuck off. At the moment, he's just ghosting me. So I might send another message. So they're out for Peyton. I'm going to stop calling him that. They're out for Darkman. They've got to get rid of Darkman. He's the only thing sort of like holding him up at the moment. And there's Durant with his massive spudder. A little grenade launcher. And I love this. Typical Sam Raimi. And when, stuff's getting thrown around, I did mention this previously, it's got that crime waveness to it, where the camera's following the moving object and it's kind of doing it in real time. And it's really such a lovely technique. Very simple, very underrated, and it's very old school cinema. And I just love stuff like this. So anyway, bad guys turn up at Peyton's, I'm doing it again, at Darkman's lair, which must be an open secret. There must be a big fucking neon sign like Porky's saying, Darkman here. So our Mexican friend and the guy who ends up in Wayne's World burst in. And he looks a bit sweaty. Something's definitely going off. Hey, S.A. I'll start doing me really bad Handy Manny impression. So Darkman collars him, grabs hold of him. And then there's a guy from Wayne's World. He looks a typical Wayne's World dude, doesn't he? And he discovers old, I don't even know what his name is, I can't remember. But he's like that guy, who's the token Mexican dude who's in everything at the moment. The guy from Ant-Man, he's a bit like him in this film, if anybody knows him. MC says he remembers Handy Manny. Let's stick a few chats up on the screen. I remember Handy Manny. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Didn't I do something about Porky's recently? I might do Porky's on, not on just great movies, but like just a retrospective, just something to have a bit of a laugh at on Friday Night Shite. Asham says, Porky's, what a laugh that was. That was fucking brilliant. I love that film. Galaxy Quest is excellent, says MC. Franco says, love Galaxy Quest, my 3rd favourite Star Trek film. Yeah, it's the Star Trek film we needed at the time. It's certainly better than anything that comes out of Hollywood at the moment, especially New Trek, the stuff from Secret Hideout. Here we go. Badfoot says, is it Pedro? No, I don't think so. Not Pedo Pascal or whatever it is. He's like all shit at the moment, isn't he? He's everywhere. I'll be glad when his popularity begins to wane because he's oversaturated and he's not that good of an actor. And apparently he's quite touchy-feely off screen. So there'll be a bit of a Me Too about him when he loses his appeal in Hollywood. MC says, Michael Pena. Yes, quite possible. So anyway, Wayne's World dude gets a bit of a shock. He turns up and he's in front of himself. And he's like, hey, buddy. But it's Darkman's voice. In the meantime, hang on a minute. How does it... There's a bit of an error there. Yeah, unless I've got these in the wrong order. How can they be in two places at once? Well, anyway, there's a bit of a fight, scrap continuing on. Darkman's got onto the helicopter, and Durant looks very... he reminds me of somebody there. I don't know. Maybe it's the thing, from the Norwegian bit, you know, when Blair's doing that autopsy on it. It looks kind of like that, doesn't it? The face what's stretched across. This makes me laugh, right? They've made Liam Neeson look like he's wearing a Darkman mask, right? So if he's wearing a Darkman mask, when the mask comes off, he's wearing all his bandages. Look at that. How can he have those bandages on? And it not look, you know what I mean, like out of proportion? If that's a printout of his own face, look at that. He's got all those bandages on. Surely, look, it's covering his mouth and everything. And the thing is, how does Darkman talk when he's got no lips? Yeah, very strange that. But anyway, you know, it's a film. You've got to take that into consideration. MC said it's a bloody good mask. Franco says, bit of a boo-boo. I'm not sure whether it's me or the film. But I love this. There's a great scene where he's on the end of this rope, right? Well, this steel rope. And they're like chucking him about and everything. Let me just upload it. I thought I'd already uploaded it, but obviously not. Because there's some great comedy moments within this film. I mean, you've got to take the fucking elephant bit. I think that is exceptionally well done. And if you don't look into it too hard and just, you know, let your brain go, just let it roll, and you just enjoy this film for what it is. There's some delicious little moments, just the odd bits just to make you laugh. But I love the take the elephant bit, you know? Yeah, MC says it's only a film, but a bloody great film. It's true. True is that, as they say in Yorkshire. Let me go back to the commentsy bit. Well, Ash928 says he'd be a great ventriloquist. Gotla gear, good Gotla gear. Franco says agreed, MC. So that's going back to that comment. It's only a film, but a bloody great film. This is a great bit of cinema. You don't have to think too hard about it. Just go with the flow. But anyway, just watch this bit. I love this.
Excuse me.
Oh, that very reminds me of Looney Tunes. That's like, oh, excuse me. Got all that silly voice. But if you notice, that bird in the office had a cracking set of pins on her. Smoking legs. Oh, I'm a leg man. You know how they say you're a breast or a leg man? When it comes to women, they've got to have the legs. She's gotta have legs. She knows how to use them. Unless she's in a wheelchair and she can suck your cock. Anyway, that reminds me of Freddy Got Fingered. Something we won't be covering for a long time on Just Great Movies. You know? Right, MC makes a very good point in the chat. Sometimes you need films where you can just switch your brain off, just enjoy them. Yeah, it's just popcorn fodder. I mean, this did all right at the cinema. It was a limited run, something like 1,700 cinemas in the US, right? Made a good chunk of money back, 28.8 million, if I remember right. And it did far better on VHS. And this is where, I mean, if you're like me, you're around my age, which you probably more than are. We're all Gen Xers, right? You discovered films like this in the video shop. Even though it said 15 on it or 18, the kid on the counter was on less. There was no minimum wage back then. It was probably on about £10 a shift, right? He didn't give a fuck. He was just, you know, happy to get some money in the till for the owner. I mean, it was even better in video shops when they started doing Mega Drive games. Oh, man, amount of Mega Drive games I've got, and it says, like, rental copy on it and stuff like that. Oh, lovely. Especially my one of my copies of Alien 3 is a rental copy. It's great. I love that game. Anyway, Peyton, Darkman, stop saying Peyton. Darkman's on the end of a rope getting swung around by helicopters, and then the police turn up. And it's amazing that only in LA could the police turn up in a police helicopter. And he's like, land that motherfucking helicopter right now, motherfucker! And Durant's not taking any of it. It's grenade launcher for you, and you're dead meat, pal. You're dead meat, pal. There's no coming back from this. So Darkman lands on the top of this truck, skinny dip on the side of it. I like that. Anybody ever see a lorry with Bunty soup and was it Bunty soap? Bunty soap. If you know, Brian, don't you? You know. It lands on top of this lorry, or a truck, or a semi. That does me. Semi in America. It's semi, like a semi-hard-on. It's not a semi-hard-on. So he lands on the top of this truck, and he ties the rope around the truck, which leads to Durant ending up doing this, exploding, as helicopters normally do when they crash into buildings while they're flying, or bridges and shit. How does he come back in the sequel? I don't know. I can't remember the sequel. In fact, I don't think I've watched the two sequels, because there is two of them. My researcher very kindly did me a load of bump about Darkman, and I'm just going to scroll through it now and get to the point where there's some info about the sequels. Let me just find... It's there somewhere. I really do need more understanding of how to make this work faster. Yeah, anyway, there's two Darkman sequels, right? And, there we go. It says here, you can blame VHS for the sequels. While only a modest hit in theatres, Darkman developed a substantial cult following on home video. It is true, thank God for video shops back in the day. It did so well, in fact, that Universal produced two direct-to-video sequels. Darkman 2, strangely enough, The Return of Durant, and the wonderfully named Darkman 3, Die Darkman Die. You can tell it's the end of the franchise too, because Jeff Fahey is one of the stars in it. I don't know, he was alright in Lawnmower Man. And what else was he in? It was in Alita. The last thing I saw him in was Alita Battle Angel. He was the cyborg guy with the robot dogs. Anyway, apparently the sequels were released in the wrong order. Die Darkman Die was actually intended to be the first sequel, but once Larry Drake was available, it was held back until The Return of Durant could be filmed and released. It was probably to cash in on the success of Dr. Giggles, which Larry was in. I haven't seen that movie, but I've heard good things. Darkman's freaky makeup effects were created using foam latex and polystyrene. Wasn't polystyrene banned? Everything was polystyrene back in the day. Let's see what's happening in the chat right now. MC says the sequels aren't as good, straight to video. However, I've just ordered the trilogy on Blu-ray because of this stream. But Dr. Mew over on X, who used to be Retro Dicky, he sent me a tweet. You can't call it an X, can you? It's still a tweet. He sent me a tweet showing me the Blu-ray box. When I've got some money, when I get paid at the end of the month, I think I'm going to treat myself to the Blu-ray copy of that. What's this? Anything interesting? MC says, I remember Dr. Giggles, horror film. Yeah, like I say, I've heard good things. I haven't actually seen it myself. So, yeah, Durant's gone, but he's back. He's looking all bruised and shit. It's obviously not him. And Strax says, you can give up the illusion. I know it's you. Durant's dead. He's got Julie. She's gagged and bound, like all good women should be, to be fair. Yeah. I don't know. It's like, yeah, you would. You wouldn't regret it, would you? I mean, if you woke up next to her the next day, it's like, I woke up next to people and thought, fucking hell, where's the window so I can jump out of it? But no, you wouldn't. There's just something about her. It's like she's genuinely, not beautiful, but she's genuinely pretty, you know? So anyway, Strax calling out Darkman. And, he's up on a skyscraper and he's like jumping around. He's doing this big thing about, my dad made me do steel work in the summer holidays. And he's jumping around. You know, like you see those Indians in America jumping around on the skyscrapers because they've got no sense of fear. This is pretty much what he's doing here. So, like, Julie's just trying her best to scream. Darkman gets his mask ripped off. And it's like, Julie, look at this. Isn't he a stunner? It's funny that, you know? He's got no lips. How does he pronounce certain things? Because if you try and talk without your lips, things get a little bit difficult. You can't but you definitely can't do a b. So how's he making all these sounds? So anyway, Julie ends up being on the end of some rebar, and she's screaming and whatnot. And he's got to fight Strack. He's got like this bolt gun. This is another interesting bit. He gets Darkman. Look at his hand, right? There's no blood or anything, right? Darkman's going to pull his hand out, and there's not going to be a single trace of any blood. There'll be no hole in Darkman's hands at all. So he's about to give him the bolt treatment. Obviously, he gets out. He knocks, he punches Strack, doesn't he? And he sort of like ends up hanging off the edge of this incomplete skyscraper. And he's like, "You won't let me go. I know what kind of man you are. You're an honourable guy. You won't do it." And he like goes, boom, chucks him over the edge. "I'm seeing things differently now." Which is a great line, you know? He's changed. He's no longer the soft, gentle man. These evil bastards who turned him into Darkman, they made him what he is. There's no return. You know, he's never going to be, how can I put it? He's never going to be a looker, is he, for the ladies? He might have a cock that would make an elephant gag, but he's not going to, no. Apparently, Helen Mirren had to dump him because she felt like a fucking cocktail sausage, apparently. I'm seeing things differently. So if you look, it's still a bit dark out, but when they go down, it's daytime. So anyway, he's in the lift and he's like, "Julie, look at me." She like looks at him and she's like thinking, "God, there's no way I'm laying under that fucker." It's like, oh, fucking hell. Anyway, Darkman disappears into a crowd. Look, it's still dark there. Next shot, it's still dark. Yeah, he's going to do one. Daytime. And we get a cameo from our very own Bruce Campbell, who Sam Raimi has got a deep connection. They're really good fans, you know. And Bruce Campbell, do you know what he did? He remortgaged his own house to get one of the Evil Dead movies into production and get it all going. So, you know, you've got to pay that forward a little bit. And Sam Raimi's always looked after Bruce Campbell. He's always been in a Bruce Campbell movie. And like the Amazing Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, countless other productions. You'll always find at one point Bruce Campbell in one of these films. Speaking of Bruce Campbell, if you've ever watched or looking for like a spy show, something really good, it's not too formulaic, you know, there's a different story every week. It's episodic, but they have a continual story arc running. It's like, you know, how most things are now. Give Burn Notice a try. Starring Jeffrey Donovan. The only thing that lets it down is Gabrielle Anwar, to be fair. But it's got Sharon Gless in it, who used to be in Cagney and Lacey. Anybody watch that? Yeah, MC says, Bruce is the man. He is. I like him. And when he does Comic-Cons and stuff like that, he is sharp. He is razor sharp. And you've got to give it to him. If you can be like that, good on you. And I tell you what, yeah, I'll get back on the screen. Hello. It's certainly been interesting. I don't know if anybody's given me any supers or anything like that, or memberships, because I can't find it. I don't know where that pops up. Normally it tells me. Is it in there? No, it's not showing me anything. Anyway, that's about it for Just Great Movies. Very efficient tonight, very straight to the point, because I'm kind of flying solo, and I've quite enjoyed it, you know. I really, really did enjoy doing it like this. A lot of people said, "No, you'd be crazy to do that, Trev. You'd be absolutely mad." And I thought, no, I'll give it a go, because, you know, everybody bailed on me on the 11th hour. A couple of people decided to offer their services to step into the breach, and I thought, no. Why should people have to do that when other people promise to come on? Anyway, it's been an absolute blast. Wait till you check this out. Oh, what's coming now?